Today we're taking a look at these NBA matches, which are happening on Saturday, April 1st, 2023, and giving you our team and total picks for today. Welcome back to High Stakes. Before we dive into our video, don't forget to subscribe and to push the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. Also check out our Patreon if you want access to our premium picks. Our Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money, and if you are interested in props and parlay picks, check out our new channel High Stakes Props and Parlays, where you can find our player props and parlay picks predictions. You will find the link to our Patreon and to our new channel in the description and comments section below. Dallas Mavericks vs Miami Heat. Must-win spots for teams don't necessarily mean they will win, and there have been plenty of times during this 1-5 Sioux run the Mavericks are currently on where they look like a bunch of guys who just can't wait to get away from one another for a few months this summer. Those two outright losses to Charlotte when the Mavs were double-digit home favorites in both will likely be the final nail in the coffin of the Mavericks season when we look back on it, as this team just needs too much help and they aren't even that good of a team to begin with. Dallas has the second worst ATS record in the NBA this year at 29-45 39.2%, a number that includes a 17-22 ATS mark as the road team. Defensively they are as leaky as it gets away from home, even if it's been somewhat improved on this road trip, and offensively, the Doncic-Irving combo is relied upon to produce so much that if one or both of them hasn't got it going, the Maverick supporting cast just hasn't been there to support. So yes, it's a must-win for Dallas, and yes, the only team with a worse ATS record in the NBA this year is the Miami Heat, Saturday's opponent for the Mavericks. But when that fact is used as a supporting argument for backing Dallas in this pick'em type game that they've got to win, there are probably better bets out there on the board. Miami is 25-14 Sioux at home this year, and while that home record also has a league worst ATS record of 12-25 ATS as the home team this year, most of those Austrian shillings losses have come when Miami was much bigger chalk. They are 6-17 Sioux as a favorite of -5 or more regardless of venue, but considering that it's not often that this team is laying that type of number on the road, it's the mid to large home favorite role you really want to avoid with Miami this season. In a pick'em game where the game has so much significance to both teams, I do think leaning on Miami's Sioux home record makes sense, even with some of the roster uncertainty they currently have. Remember, Miami's put up that 25-14 Sioux home record despite all the man games missed with injury as well, so you really can't get too hung up on lineups at times. This spread also suggests that it's going to be a close game throughout, and if that's how it does end up playing out, I'll be much more comfortable fading a Dallas team I've watched discover new and entertaining ways to lose blow games in the fourth quarter this year. Can't trust that anything is going to change in that regard now, and who knows, maybe the guys in the Mavericks locker room do know the ship has sailed on their season and they need some time apart. If that's the case, a poor start turns into Dallas waving the white flag here pretty quickly. Our team pick is Miami -1 point. It's been nothing but unders for Dallas of late as they have picked up things defensively, but it's come at the cost of sacrificing offense. The Mavs are 1-6 OU in their last 7 games overall, and considering Miami's the lowest scoring team in the league and hasn't topped 100 in 3 games, looking to the under here makes some sense. After all, with how important this win is to both sides, we could get a playoff atmosphere here where the possessions are limited and the scoreboard can slow to a crawl at times. But the Mavericks only really know how to find success when they are playing fast, and Miami needs to get their offense back in gear before the playoffs do ultimately arrive. It's that contrarian angle I'm banking on here with an overplay, as if the Mavs are going to go out, they are going to go out swinging with 2 of the best pure scorers in the world, firing up shot after shot. Our total pick is over. Los Angeles Clippers vs New Orleans Pelicans. This season certainly hasn't gone as planned for the Los Angeles Clippers. Picked by many to win the West before the year, they entered this one clinging to 5th place in the conference. If they drop much further, they'll find themselves in the play-in tournament. How did they end up at 41-37 with preseason expectations so high? Injuries played a big role, as they always seem to do with the Clips. Kawhi Leonard and Paul George have both missed big chunks of the season, and PG is currently sidelined with a knee injury that might keep him out for the rest of the year. Fortunately, we'll be treated to a rare sight here. Kawhi Leonard is going to play the second half of a back-to-back. Yes, you read that right. Leonard sat out the second half of Friday's game so that he would be able to play again here on Saturday. I'm not sure I've ever seen a player play only the first half of a game in order to rest up for the following day, but that's where we're at with the 2023 Clippers. LA just lost by 14 to the Grizzlies on Friday, and they only managed to put up 94 points. They also just played the Pelicans exactly a week ago, and they lost by 21. Leonard was just 4-16 from the floor in that one, as Bones Highland was the team's leading scorer with a whopping 18 points. I'm backing New Orleans here. The Clippers are without Paul George, and the Kawhi Leonard situation has gotten so bizarre that he's now apparently only playing half the game, sometimes like he did on Friday night. Los Angeles lost by 14 to the Grizzlies in that one, and when these teams played each other about a week ago, the Pels won by 21. Leonard shot just 4/16 in that one, and the Clippers' leading scorer was a bench player. New Orleans also has very stark home-road splits, with a 24-13 record at home and 15-25 mark on the road. The Pelicans are quietly starting to heat up thanks to some stellar play from Brandon Ingram, and they've won 6 of their past 7 games. The New Orleans Pelicans have also been somewhat disappointing this season, but expectations weren't nearly as high as they were for the Clippers. It's a bummer though because the Pels got off to a great start and they looked like championship contenders early on as they went 23-12 through the first couple months. But then Zion Williamson got hurt and everything unraveled, and they now enter this one as the 8th seed in the West. They can still climb out of the play-in tournament if they finish strong, but it's going to be an uphill battle. That being said, they've been playing a lot better recently, even without Williamson. New Orleans has won 6 of their past 7 games entering this one, with the only loss in that span coming on the road against the Warriors, who are really difficult to beat at home. Brandon Ingram has been putting the team on his back, leading them in scoring in 6 straight games. In that span, he's put up 2 30-point triple-doubles. The only loss in that span came on the road against the Warriors. Our team pick is Pelican spread. The under also makes a lot of sense in this spot. Los Angeles' offense isn't the same without George, and they only put up 94 points in their most recent game. Norman Powell was the leading scorer in that one with 16. Russell Westbrook has played fairly well since signing with the Clips, but he was just 2/8 from the field on Friday and is never going to be too efficient. Obviously the Pels are still without the engine of their offense in Williamson, and with this game meaning so much for both of these teams, I expect the defensive intensity to be heightened. And New Orleans' recent success has had more to do with their defense than anything else. In 4 of their past 6, the Pelicans have given up 96 points or fewer. Our total pick is under the total.